DJ Wags, Apocalypse Radio News Brief. U.S. Navy is trending. The Navy is live fire nuke sub hunting training with Japan's new offensive forces. By the way, China is nearby. Also, recently has been training, also live fire drilling in the same region. Say that word. Oh, by the way, the U.S. Navy is also about to attack a mock China battleship right there in the same region with Chinese Navy right there with front row seats for free. See how that works? Stay tuned for that one. By the way, U.S. military just said, this is a true story, draft age men, the young ones, the ones you like to sacrifice in rituals like this, aren't fit for war because they're too fat and mental and something else. It's in a real report. And drugged up, I think, on not narcotic, some kind of medicine you can't be in war with that you need for your brain. That's a true story. Anyways, so riddle that for 45-year-olds out there and younger, because they raise the age. I think the Navy goes to 50 now. Or maybe 45 was the new one. One of them just raised it by 5 years. So if I were you, I'd start asking your boyfriends and husbands, like, which branch are they going to volunteer for? Because if said draft has to happen, and by the way, I didn't add this to this clip, but by the way, Russia is doing like 200,000 new soldiers a month. North Korea just hired up 800,000. China's hired up 1 million. Just on top of what they already, China outnumbers our military 4-1, man for man, woman for woman, or whatever you call yourself. And then we're just sitting there cutting our dicks off. So you better start asking the older guys, like, because the younger ones aren't fit for duty. And by the way, if you're a Bud Light kind of doohickey, like, you're still going. Because if you were born with a certain part, that legally in the war garbage means you're going to war. You can't get out of it for this mental garbage going on, or whatever you guys call it. Back to the news. Sorry. I said even the Bud Light ones, no exceptions. That's the law. By the way, the U.S. Air Force B-1Bs moved to the region. They're up by North Korea, which is in the same region, with a lot of friends, stealth friends, fighters, and nuke-armed bombers. Why? Well, I'll tell you why. Glad you asked. North Korea keeps launching these things called ICBMs, and they keep going over Japan's doohickey little country. See that? This is why Japan has a military now, and the U.S. military is there with them. The other day, and you don't care because this doesn't affect you yet until they're here, but Japan had air raid sirens go, and they told their citizens to get into bomb shelters. Could you imagine living like this? Like, this is Japan. Like, they're nice people, right? Or whatever. Like, I'm just saying. I don't know anybody. Like, which time will they launch a live nuke? This is why we have the B-1B stealth bomber there. We have nuclear capably armed B-52s now. They can launch hypersonic missiles out of them, and they can do it with the C-130s, I think. One of the cargo ones. They're retrofitting cargo planes, the U.S. Navy, Air Force, to launch hypersonic nukes out of cargo planes. That's a true story. Look it up. If you still have internet in the apocalypse, hang on, we got all these chemical fires around. We just had a oil fire right by me over here. Like, it's every day something's blowing up in this country, and nobody's been arrested. Like, 1,900, this ain't in the news here, but 1,900 food plants got the axe, the old burneroni, even airplanes flying into a chicken plant. I think it's something like, what are the odds? Like, airplanes are hitting your food plant. Anyways, you're missing 1,900. Nobody's paying attention. Like, this is why I started Apocalypse Radio Network, Apocalypse Radio Show on the Alpha Omega Podcast Network. By the way, all major wars have something in common. This is for you guys. This is your homework for tonight. I want you guys to look up this word. It's called black swan, and it looks just like the swan that flies. So you're going to see that in your pictures or whatever you look at. Whatever you guys do for education. But look up what black swan event means with every war from Vietnam, World War II, all of them, including this war that's coming. Like, we're in the pregame. So, like I said here, get the popcorn. The World War III pregame show is getting hot. It's really getting hot. Like, yeah. And then the dollar's collapsing. So, like, you guys, They're saying there's some whoever they is the expert. Like you believed all the experts with the COVID garbage, whatever. Like, but the real experts with money are saying like this depression coming is gonna be like 5 times worse than 1929, and we're all playing with ourselves and cutting body parts up, and while while the freaking military, or what do you call it? I got a video. I'm putting this up right now. China's got their high school kids doing like lockstep to take out the West, let's say. They were doing it instead of playing basketball, they're learning how to kill whitey. And why? You may not be white. I'm just saying that's an old term for you young people that are woke, Archie Bunker style. Like I'm old. I got a hall pass, so kiss my ass. This is a World War III update. We're taking, and by the way, another major bank just collapsed. The feds are taking it over as I speak. I heard. I think it's called First Republic Bank. Look that up. So I have a bingo card. If you follow me on the other lines, I got like Facebook. And the bingo card, and I have to update it. I put, this one failed in March. But listen. Jamie Dimon, the devil, over at JP Morgan or whatever that's called. Like, they bailed this bank out in March. Now the bank's done again. And by the way, one more by the way, it's not on the list here, but by the way, like $100 billion plus, that was in 1 week, and another couple hundred, like hundreds of billions of dollars of cash have now suddenly disappeared out of banks and gone to gold. And you can look this up. By the way, Federal Reserve has now doubled their gold that they're holding, doubled the world record they ever held before. And by the way, China's buying the rest. So, and then so the central banks are buying gold, the rich people are buying gold, and you're sitting there worried about which beer to drink. And by the way, all you that drink that beer or whatever it is, you're still going to war. So all you people better start doing push-ups. Like, but then back home, we're going to be sitting there in the Great Depression 2.0 till the Great Reset. And by 2030, you're going to be tagged with the new money and all that, because the new money's coming. See, they got to collapse the system. Otherwise, you wouldn't take the cash of society. But when you're broke, unemployed, that's all coming, by the way. Look it up. Look up the manual. This is DJ Wags. At least you got me taking you through this fucking hell. See how that works?